Hi, and welcome to Wrong Way! And today we're going to review the Begode Hero, one of my favorite rides this year. So, let me tell you more about it. Wrong Way! First up, big thanks to Voltride for providing me this wheel for testing purposes. If you want to get a wheel like that, check out their site, and you can use my coupon code WRONGWAY for an additional 5% off. I also do receive kickbacks from those orders, so you also help out the channel by using this code. I've ridden the Hero for around 700 kilometers in total, and it's been through a lot. And I say, really a lot. However, I didn't do quite the usual tests that I also do with the other wheels, and that is the range test or disassembly of the wheel. So this review will be not as complete as the others, just a bit of a quick review without going that much in depth on how this wheel is built. But just as usual, we will review the Begode Hero based on 6 categories, and that is safety, durability, ride, performance, features, and lastly, a conclusion. Alright, let's get into it. When it comes to the safety of the device, the Begode Hero isn't really different from other Begode wheels. And that's a bad thing. We still have a hot charge port, no communication between the BMS and the motherboard, no IP rating, no motor temperature sensor, no factory set safety limits that are notified via tiltback, just beeps when it comes to high speed and overpowering upon acceleration or deceleration. Not to mention Begode's track record of having several, and I mean tens of wheels burned and not really ever officially acknowledging this and proposing a solution. Oh yeah, and the wheels that arrive at your place might be already different from the ones I review, and there are also differences in between separate units of a certain batch. So essentially you never know what you're getting, but maybe it'll be good. That's why it's worth it to get it from a distributor. But it's not all bad things, and I gotta say that when it comes to the motherboard durability, Begode is really good at that. There were so many cutouts on the V12, problems with the S22, while Begode 100-volt wheels don't have nearly as many problems as those other wheels. So here the tables have turned a bit. So when it comes to safety, it's really a mixed bag, and you need to know what you're getting into. I see Begode as a laboratory, and we are its testing subjects. It's also a bit like that with the other companies, but I think by far with Begode and the lack of communication, lack of official statements, and so many fires that already happened, it's the least trustworthy company here. But now let's talk about durability, and here I've been really impressed with the Hero. I think this just might be the most robustly built wheel by Begode. It has taken quite a bit of tumbles, and the plastic just holds up, along with the metal cast piece in the middle of the wheel, the suspension slider and suspension mechanism, and general feeling of the wheel. I'd say that the biggest downsides in the durability department is the plastic flap, which is part of the mudguard. This one just broke off. Sometimes the screen and the lights wouldn't work, and then you just need to reset the wheel or ride a little. But I think that by far the most notable part about the downsides here is the suspension geometry and damper setting. So the thing is that there isn't so much headroom to extend the piston. So if you're riding on a Hero, most of the time you're very close to the damper being fully erected. Extended. And then instead of having a mechanism that makes this extension soft, there is like a rather strong clonk in this geometry. Take a listen. In the 700 kilometers as I was riding, it didn't break, and I don't know how durable it is in the long run. It's definitely annoying just with the sound, and it doesn't really feel right if you feel the sort of clunk also underneath your feet. When it comes to the ride of the Hero, it's amazing. It's just such a fun wheel to ride around. It feels so much lighter than the Master, but it weighs the same. It has pretty much no pedal dipping in turns. It's really zippy. I think that the pedal height is really in the optimum, so it's not too low, not too high, just makes the wheel feel so zippy and stable. It's also not that wide, so you can grip it easily between your legs. And while you can still ride with the stock pads that are included in the box, I'd really suggest to get some Nylonova Kinetic. The canvas is big enough and it's really enjoyable to use them on this wheel. I was usually riding with the suspension pumped up at around 250 or even above because I love my stunts, but at lower pressure it's also really comfortable. The thing that I'm missing in this particular unit is that there is no rebound adjustment, but I think in later models they added that? I'm not really sure. But as a all-in-all package, I've been just enjoying the ride of the Hero so much. Yeah, the suspension just works, doesn't bottom out so much on the jumps. You can feel the road so much better than on the Master. And the Street CST tire, while not perfect, and I would prefer a Michelin City Pro here, really does the job well as well. The Hero really satisfied me as a fun wheel, but now with custom geometry also available for the Master starts to be tons of fun too. Would you like me to make a video about this custom suspension linkage? Let me know in the comments. When it comes to performance, the Hero is very similar to the Begode RS, and that's not a bad thing. It has plenty of torque, it can easily go up 40-degree inclines. You can see the acceleration test there, and go! That was quick. And I forgot to make a brake test from 40 kilometers an hour, but I can just assure you, when doing the brake test with Taba na rowerze, the braking was really pretty much the highest standard that you could get on any high torque wheel. When it comes to range and charging, I sadly didn't do a range test. I think it's slightly less than on an RS just because the weight is bigger, but I think around 60 to 80 kilometers is always really doable. Sadly, the charging isn't that fast, just 3 amps with the stock charger, so 6 hours for a full charge, or 6 amps total maximum charge speed for a quick charge of 3 hours. Could be better, could be worse. On a full charge, the top speed is around 60 kilometers an hour or above, so the high torque version is totally enough for the usual needs in the city. Alright, so let's talk about the features of the Begode Hero. Pretty much it's packed with features, starting with a display here, and I guess this is the wheel that started the display trend, like the big display trend at Begode. Speedometer, battery readout, not too accurate, but still it's here. Mode, don't really need that. Temperature, awesome, and a odometer. Right below we have a USB charge port and a button to turn on and off the wheels. So, and here in this one it's a bit different when it comes to the controls. So it takes really a long time to turn it on, especially if it was off for a while. So when I press it, it really takes a bit longer than the other wheels. The button also controls the front lights, and the light has a sensor, as you can see, just like King Songs. I don't like it. It's just very not dependable. But when you press the button, you can turn on 1 light, 2 lights, or none at all. And I think in the first setting it's automatic, just like the King Song wheels. Here's the beeper, very loud, very audible, and there is a trolley handle. And I gotta say that I really don't like the trolley handle in the Begode Hero for a couple reasons. First off, there's no handle to just grab the wheel in any way. If you do off-roading, that's a bit annoying. And it's kind of hard to grab it anywhere here because it's slippery. Then, if you press the button, automatically the lift switch engages. So it's really annoying because you can't turn it off. In the King Song wheels you can, and then you can still sort of push the wheel around, but if you have this already up, you can't really do that because it has like this assist mode. And then if you put it down, why is it still there? So that's a bit annoying. And then the trolley handle itself, the height is fine, but there's another 2 problems with it. First problem is that the button, you can see it's peeking out sort of. So if you grab it, it goes down. And if you're just like going around and you're like minding your business, it's just like, whoa. So you need to remember about this, and I actually grip this thing differently now, like this and with my fingers out, so I don't press it. And then the second problem about the trolley handle, oh, dirty hands, is that it's so thin. Like, just look at it, you can't really like grip it nicely. It's just so thin. It is made out of metal, so it will survive like lifting up, which is cool. But other than that, not my favorite. I mean, it's nice, it's centered, but also wobbly. So I really didn't enjoy pushing this wheel around the store. It was rather a hassle, not my favorite. Here in the back we have the light, which is barely visible. I have those Shredlights in the back, which provide me lighting in the night, SLFX. We have 2 charge ports, and then we have also the suspension mechanism. And this is still, I think, the old version of the damper because there's no rebound, and that's why it's so clunky. There's a bit of like cast metal here, and I think that's what makes the price of the Hero so expensive. So here, all along here, there's like sort of a main construction, and you can see that right below here there's like more of the metal on the inside, and also a radiator and plastic casing for the battery. I love the pedals. Pedals are amazing, and they have adjustable angle. They stay in place if you screw this in. Now it's a bit loose, so they fall down. And we have a kickstand, which is rather good. The mudguard is also rather good, but it sprays a bit on top, but it broke off as well. Another awesome feature that starts to lack in other wheels is that we have a Bluetooth speaker here. So let me just play some music. It's pretty loud. It's not like the nicest quality if you just ride around, because it's like located somewhere inside, so it's sort of like just like reflects from the street. It's pretty loud, which is cool. It's going like down. So I'm happy it's here. I sometimes ride with music. It's not as annoying as loud cars, especially not for such a big distance, but yeah, could be done better if the speakers would be like somewhere just on top so you can hear it and not ants. All right, so anyways, these are the features, I think. Yeah, let's conclude it all. So should you get a Begode Hero? And here the main problem is that Begode is very good at making its own competition and making its own products obsolete. And you have to remember that this wheel is not so old actually, and Begode already managed to make it not worth it, because this is essentially the same price as the Begode Master, which is there in the back. And the Master has a bigger battery, a better motherboard, more power, I think in general better features. The only thing is that I don't like the suspension geometry that much. It got better, and Serge likes it a lot, who's behind the camera. I mean, really Begode, you made your own product obsolete. I still enjoy it. I love that it's, I think, a bit better built. It's more durable. There's like 2 layers of plastic protecting the battery. It took really a couple of tumbles, but I can't see any like major damage except for the, you know, mudguard in the back. I really love that I'm more connected to the road with the suspension geometry, and in general this wheel is a lot of fun, but the question is really value. And if you value range, which is one of the main components when buying a wheel, this makes sense. So I think it's really fun. I think it's a cool product by Begode. I think the Master is just better. So if you're still here, leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.